Motivational Drive, and today we're talking about being happy. Everybody wants to be happy, right? But we all struggle with being happy. I recorded a video yesterday. There's a place that I go, it's in the city, but it happens to be surrounded by woods and trees, and there's a rock that comes out of a hillside, really big rock, so you can sit on it and have lunch and you're surrounded by trees. And I filmed a video yesterday on this, and it was awesome, but it was really hard to hear, so I'm redoing that. And unfortunately, I'm not in the woods in some beautiful scenery for you. I wish I could show that to you, and I'm sure I will again. But so back to the topic, are you happy? You want to be happy, right? So think about the language involved there. You want to be happy. You want to be in the state of being of happy. But how often do you stop what you're doing and focus on being happy? Most people don't take a lot of time at all. They don't focus on being happy. If you don't focus on finding the state of being for being happy, how are you ever going to be happy? How are you ever going to experience it? Now, we tend to be happy when certain things happen, right? So we're not happy, but then we see an old friend and we get happy for a few. Or we really have been wanting a big purchase or a nice purchase, and we got to save up for a little while, then we do, we have the money, we buy it, and we feel happy, right? Most times we put happiness on a contingency plan, that if something happens, then you will allow yourself to be happy. That's a dangerous plan. Okay, so when you do that, you only allow for certain times in your life to feel the emotion of being happy. So what I try to do is I try to take the emotions that are associated with being happy, and I try to let myself feel those on a regular basis. So gratitude is a really big one. Anytime you're feeling thankful for the things that you already have, you'll naturally start to feel happy. Anytime you think about people that are special in your life, you're going to automatically feel happy. Okay? But if you don't stop and allow yourself to feel that and be overwhelmed by it, it's hard to stay happy without having all those things that happiness is contingent on. So what I'm here to tell you today is that happiness is a choice. It's deciding that you want to be happy and allowing yourself to feel that. That's happiness. It's not a result of something else happening in your life. And I think the sooner that most people start to understand that, the happier we can all be. So I'm going to tell you a story today, and that story is going to have to do with a Zen Buddhist parable. I gave a Zen parable the other day, and it was a really good one. I'm going to give another one. There's a lot of lessons to be gained from that philosophy. So the story starts out that there is a monk, and he's on a journey, and he's heading through the forest. And on his journey, while he's walking, he sees a tiger. And it's too late because the tiger sees him too. And now he turns around and he starts running. But sure enough, that tiger's chasing and it's right on his tail. So he ends up finding a cliff really close by. And he starts climbing down the cliff to get away from the tiger. And he's climbing on vines that are heading down the cliff. And as he's climbing down, he looks down, and there's a tiger sleeping below. So now there's a tiger above, there's a tiger below. What's he gonna do, right? And he looks up again and he sees that the vines that he's holding on to are really weak. And some rats are gnawing on the top of the vines, and they're getting even weaker by the second. So he starts to freak out for a second, and that's when he sees a strawberry bush growing right next to him out of the side of the cliff. He sees that it's ripe, and one of the strawberries is very large. And he pops it off the bush, and he plucks it off the bush and pops it in his mouth and says, "That is the best strawberry I have ever eaten." And the moral of that story is it doesn't matter what's behind you or ahead of you. It's what's happening right here and right now in the moment that defines us and that we get our life experience from. And so often we spend our time worried about the tiger behind us or the tiger ahead of us, that we fail to find the strawberry bushes and find the beautiful ripe strawberries that are absolutely delicious. And I'm going to actually tell you today what those tigers represent. The tiger behind represents regret. And the tiger ahead represents fear. And these are the two biggest killers of happiness. We spend our time in this moment looking back at the past and regretting the choices that we've made and the circumstances that life has pushed onto us. And then, if that's not bad enough, when we're not doing that, we're not living in regret, we're not having all those negative emotions, we like to look ahead with fear and worry that the outcomes that we choose or that we would like aren't going to work out. So, the biggest killers of happiness are regret and fear. It's pretty important to know, right? Because now if you know that, you can stop looking back with regret. You can start looking back and saying, what could I have done better? What was the lesson that I could have learned? And let go of regret. And now when you look into the future, don't look into the future with fear. My favorite analogy or anagram for the word fear is false evidence appearing real. And that's the best thing for fear that I could ever hope to describe it as, because we are afraid of outcomes in the future before they even happen. How realistic is it that that outcome is going to take place? Things change all the time, and so often we don't get the results we expected anyway, good or bad. So why waste a whole bunch of your time in your day fearing outcomes that may or may not ever happen? So they're illusions. Regret is also an illusion. When we look back with regret, so many times we're not even seeing the real picture because we're stuck looking at the regret. If you can get rid of looking with negative emotion into your past, all of a sudden you can start to learn lessons from your past. You can start to improve the person that you are because of the lessons of your past. So today's lesson, or today's moral of the story, is start paying attention when you look in to the past or the future. Stop using negative emotion to do it, and stop worrying about those two tigers. Start living in this moment and choose the state of being that is happy. I have a really challenging life. I'm starting two businesses, which is one business more than most people should at a time. It is absolutely crazy, but somehow every day, because I've learned that happiness is a choice, I find a way to choose being happy every day. And it's turned my life around. I hope it can turn your life around. I know it can. I hope you let it. So today's lesson was an important one. Start being happy. Start taking the time that it takes to allow yourself to be happy. And like I said, don't forget about that gratitude. Gratitude is a very, very important part of that. It's almost like a little trick. The more time you spend in your life allowing yourself to feel grateful for the things that you're appreciative of and the blessings that you have, the happier you will be. It will fix your life if you focus on gratitude. So this is the Motivational Drive. This is Joe. I'm signing off for another one. Have a fantastic day. And trust me, you can live the life that you want. I want to see you get started. Take care.